Oh, the Little Pony community. I've been a part of this community for a while. I remember back to my 14-year-old self that thought that I peaked in the community just because I participated on a map and collabed with a small animator. Oh, how naive I was. But in the time that I've been here, I've had the pleasure to meet a lot of awesome people. But today, we're not talking about that. Today I want to talk about the annoying things that we've experienced in the fandom. Wait, we?
Thank you, Sugarflake, for bringing me on. Now it's my turn to talk about my MLP pet peeves.
So today I'm accompanied by the banger king himself, Twital. But before I start, I want to give a disclaimer. Everything in this video is our opinion, and at the end of the day, we're just having fun. And I encourage you to leave your MLP pet peeves in the comments. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's begin with... So, my first pet peeve is something that I've had the misfortune to experience a bunch of times in the community. Opinions. You have them and I have them, because we all live in a free country. Right. But in the MLP community that doesn't exist. For the most part, it really depends. I have no idea why some fans hate having different opinions, and I know that people have different opinions and all, but when I can't debate about something as simple as Marvel's age or a character I find interesting, yeah, I don't think my opinion is the problem. And it doesn't even have to be because of something in the show or comics. It can be as simple as a ship or spin-off, because I guess I cannot say that Ponytails is an underrated classic without someone telling me that I'm wrong, because the show doesn't have any magical aspects. When that's not even the point of the show in the first place, or people assuming that I hate Apple Dash just because I prefer other ships. And God forbid if you talk about the fanon. Hey you made some Pride Month art of Trixie with the trans flag, guess what? Get harassed, hate messages and death threats over it. Your theory doesn't align with mine? Get silenced because in here my opinion is the only one that matters. What is that? You like Celestia more than Luna? Here's a list on how to kill yourself. It's wild how frequent of an issue this has become, and one that I still see happening in the community to this day. And again, it's fine if you like your boring as fuck theories and opinions, but be open-minded about others' theories, opinions, and even fanon. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. And no, just because you're a big content creator doesn't give you the right to manipulate others just so they'll fit your opinions. Grow up, you big man child.
First off, fuck Zephyr Breeze, man. Like, I'm going around here and I know some of y'all are fans of him, but first off, I want to ask, have you escaped the mental institute? Well, like if you locked me in a room with someone who has 32 consecutive life sentences and Mr. Breeze over here, and I'm holding a Glock with 2 bullets, I'll shoot Zephyr. Twice. Alright, you might seem that my hate may be unjustified and a bit too extreme, but I have my reasons. Like, first off, he's a bum. Literally the first time we see him, this guy still lives with his parents. And look, I don't mind when people live with his parents. Like, I'd be a hypocrite, but it gets to a point, because I'm assuming he's a legal adult at this point. Oh, and this guy is jobless. Like, his episode arc, when he was introduced, was getting a job. And for my other reason, he gives me millennial vibes. Like, the beard millennial vibes. And I don't want to be ageist, but those types of people get on my nerves, if you know what I mean. And when that type of archetype gets pony-sonified, you're just asking for it at this point. And also he hits on Rainbow Dash or whatever, but like, back off. She's mine.
Okay, let's move on to a pet peeve that, while annoying, hopefully I will not get as angry over it. Cute characters, we all love them. I mean, of course we do. And Little Pony is no exception, and some of these are some of my favorite characters in the entirety of G4. But I wouldn't call them all good. For some reason, I've stumbled upon fans that think that just because a character is cute, automatically that's what makes them good. Now, if we're talking about a one-time or background pony, I don't mind that. But not if they're a main or secondary characters. And there's no better example to this than Coco Pomel. We're really doing this again. Now, I don't hate Coco. Weird that I need to clarify that, but I can't deny that she's such an overloved character by fans, for no real reason aside of being cute. I mean, there's people who criticize this too for no real reason, but Coco the Mary Sue gets glazed? I mean, I love how people were telling me how I tried to convince them that Coco was a bad character, when all that I did in that video was just going over her story. Also, when a literal background pony has a more interesting story than Coco, I think that says a lot. Because aside of her being cute, can anyone really tell me something else about Coco Pomel as a character? Okay, but hey, Coco was only a secondary character, unlike Cozy Glow. Again, I don't hate Cozy, but I wouldn't say that she was a good villain. Her plan was convoluted as all hell, that by the end made no sense. Like, she's a Pegasus that wants to drain magic out of Equestria to take over, which, okay, it's a solid plan. If it wasn't for the fact that if she did that, she wouldn't be able to fly or use magic at all. Something important if she was going to team up with, oh, I don't know, T-Rex. But I guess she has the power of friendship, so that makes it all okay. And God forbid if you mention that she was a psychopathic monster, because immediately people will defend her because she's a kid? Are we forgetting that this kid almost destroyed Equestria with Chrysalis and T-Rex and never regretted anything she did? And no, she wasn't manipulated. I hate when people try to excuse her behavior as, well, T-Rex manipulated her. No, he didn't. The only thing that I can agree with is that she wasn't given a proper opportunity to redeem herself. But even then, we don't know if she wanted to be reformed or even if she could change. Because at least with these other reformed villains, I could see with their turning point to be good, but I guess because she's a kid, that automatically gives her the pass in the eyes of the fans. As if kids in this show weren't already horrible people that did shitty things, yet they aren't as defended as much, even if they were reformed. But Cozy? No, you see that face? Yeah, let's give her a get out of jail free card, because someone could have reformed her, I promise you. It amazes me how much the community defends Cozy Glow and don't stop to think that just like these other villains, maybe she can't be reformed, which is not entirely bad. And that's without mentioning the many other ponies that don't get enough love because they're not as appealing or cute as the most popular ones. Or because they're not as hot, which what the fuck? And I'm not saying that you can't like a character that just exists to be cute, because I do that sometimes. Some of my favorite characters are basically a ball of cuteness with no story outside of my headcanons. But it's when you can't tell what makes them good or bad as characters just because you see them as your waifu when this begins to be a problem, and a very annoying one.
Anyways, my next pet peeve is actually the hypocrisy the show has, specifically for Twilight's questionable moral compass. Imagine you had the power and authority to send someone to literal hell. Would you either banish a cult leader who's tried to brainwash you, already destroyed entire multiverses, and probably caused, like, I don't know, millions upon millions of deaths? Or a slightly troubled child who needs therapy? Yeah, banish the child, man. Loot the whole generation, banish the child. And I also take the cult leader as my student. That'll work out. I'm not saying I hate Starlight Limo or love Cozy Glow, quite the opposite actually. But the level of hypocrisy that implies for that egghead is insane. Like, imagine you're in an alternate universe where Starlight got banished for like the past 3 seasons till like season 5 to season 9. Her hate would grew and probably would never get redeemed after the trauma of being sent to literal hell. Even worse, we wouldn't get Star Treks. This disproves that Twilight believes in Horn supremacy. She reformed Luna, Sunset, Starlight, Stygian, even Tempest, who has horn erectile dysfunction. Laugh.
And for my final pet peeve is something that I'm very passionate about. OCs. We all have them, and at some point we all try to create one. And there's no more interesting fandom to create an OC than the MOP community. I mean, think about it. You can create any type of characters you want. Characters with magic, not magic, fly, swim, shapeshift, and that's without mentioning the amount of species they are. So with so much options for your OC, you might think it would be difficult to choose one. Yeah, no. Nowadays it feels like your OC needs to exclusively be one of the popular species, and it's okay if you have an OC from these species. I'm not saying that you can't have one. My problem is when people choose them either because they want to stand out because of them, which most of the time you will not. On the contrary, there's probably an OC that looks very similar to yours already. Or on the other hand, the people who pressure others to choose one of these species, which sounds insane insane, I know, but it's something that I've sadly seen fans and even content creators do, which I just find fucking dumb and disgusting. It's called an OC for a reason. And you might be saying, well, just ignore them. Well, you can't, because if you do, you'll get harassed, bullied, or even insulted because your OC is not to their standards. Something I've experienced firsthand with my OC. There's been people who have insulted me or mocked me because Sugarflake doesn't have any magical abilities or because they look weird. And while I get people who have different opinions and in a way they want their characters to have something cool to play around, Sugarflake doesn't need any of that to stand out. They already do just by design. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of the species people use nowadays have become flanderized. Like a unicorn that is good at magic, a Pegasus that can fly fast, a bad pony that loves mangoes, and a Keyring that's... What does the Keyring do again? You get what I mean. And the thing is that the community is not stuck with these interpretations. On the contrary, there's a lot of potential for more diverse and creative ideas for OCs than people realize. Like for example, why not make a fruit-themed bat pony? Or an elemental OC like a nice unicorn or a water zebra, a nightmare version of a species we didn't see like a reindeer, sea pony or cat. Why not make an earth pony that can use magic via an artifact or a kind of magic like chaos magic? And that's just with the species in the show. Why not make them something more unique, like an alien, a robot, an insect, or a cryptic? Why not play with their proportions, patterns, main, or even subspecies? There's so many things that you can play with to make an OC that feels unique, but that still could work in the world of MLP, and more importantly, one that is unique to you. But hey, I'm a ponytuber with an Earth Pony OC, so what do I know?
Okay, and now here's my final pet peeve. It's less to do about the show and more to do about the wider space of the internet. It's the MLP degeneracy videos that I've been seeing like all across YouTube. Like, scroll down, you might even see a video of that right over here. Oh yeah, while you're down there, like the video. Yes, my partial reason why I hate them so much is the fact that these grifters are on our cases. At the end of the day, it's just us having fun. But the other reason is that they're mostly right too. Like, I know it's a vocal minority, but we shouldn't have hours of content on us making probably a heck ton of money on cringe compilations and downfall drama videos on us. But I don't know, if they give me like a part of the share, like, I'll stay silent. Like, yo, if you give me like $50, I'll stay like, I'll keep my mouth shut. Like, I ain't never seen a fandom with this much drama or controversies. Well, I lied, I do know a lot of fandoms, bad fandoms. But that's beside the point, that's literally comparing trash to garbage. There's literally a reason why we look bad.
Just so disrespectful for you to say something like that.
But it is gone better, I tell you that. But it's also because we're like a dying species nowadays. Anywho, thank you Sugarflake for having me on in one of their videos. It's been a pleasure, and if you don't know me, I'm Twital. I used to make these sorts of videos. Is it because I'm obsessed with this show and I need to seek therapy? Well, yes. But if you aren't a Cocomelon iPad kid who is illiterate and only clicked on the video because funny pink horsey, and you haven't read the title, Pinkie Pie is immortal. But now I'm mainly, doing animations, which you've probably been seeing in the background. And before I go, subscribe to Sugarflake, the GOAT, and I will hunt you down if you don't. And also join their Discord too. Subscribe to me because I am awesome, and until then, good riddance.
Well, thank you Twital, it's been an honor to have you here. And hey, go sub to him to see some awesome projects and animations. But what are your thoughts on RMLP Pet Peeves, and do you have some of your own? Leave it down in the comments. Glad to be back making videos, and new content will come out soon. As for me, take care, stay creative, and I'll see you in the next video.